We got her hotter than a $2 pistol. And I'll be dipped. See that? That's not how brake systems work. What's up, Buck? Doug with D&E in the garage. I seem to be completely plagued by brake related issues lately. What you're looking at here is a 10mm bleeder valve that's totally hooped to kingdom come. Now I've been giving this thing the business for about a week now, coming down every night, trying something new, something different. We got her hotter than a $2 pistol on several occasions, trying to break that bond loose. What happened here, I mean, y'all know, aluminum caliper, steel bleeder valve. They did the old dissimilar metals dance, done when fused themselves together. So we tried line wrenches, we tried sockets, we've been soaking it with the good stuff. Last night I was fed up. I got it as hot as I honestly felt comfortable getting the body of this caliper, and then I latched some rusty vice grips on there. So now the hexagonal dimensional region of this particular bleeder valve no longer exists. So we're gonna try something I've never done, but I have heard of. A viewer recently suggested it. We're gonna hollow out a nut. We're going to weld the nut onto the bleeder valve, and that'll do two things. One, it will hopefully, I mean, it's going to get real hot. That good hot snot machine heat deep into there will hopefully break that bond that the aluminum and the steel have. And additionally, it gives me something else to latch onto. We can get a 9/16 wrench on there, because as previously stated, I've done rounded the good bits out of her. But the first thing we got to do, because of space and things, we're gonna have to hollow this guy out. Additionally, the same viewer gave me a suggestion that I had not heard of before on how to keep your bleeder valves from ever sticking, no matter how many years go in between. I was blown away. Maybe I'm late to the party. I've never heard this one, so let's try to fix this one. I don't need this caliper, but I would like to have it around, so let's try to save it. Step one, do this, and then after that we'll talk about how to get these never stuck again. As is often the case, we're going to do the first things first here, and we're going to try to get this particular nut good and hot so that any kind of hardening or anything it has will hopefully be gone. So let's get our mitt protectors on, and maybe some kind of eye shields for fashion. And I wish I had MAP gas right now, because propane doesn't really get all that hot, but we'll just we'll keep it in the ketchup there and see if we can't get her where we're trying to get. That was fun. Perfect. Now we're just gonna let that cool. If we dunk it in water, we'll reheat, harden it, which would defeat the purpose. Possibly even make it harder than it was to begin with. So if you're gonna try this at home, which I do not recommend, just let her cool on her own. Alrighty, we got her all chalked up here. We're gonna do our best AVE machining impression here, and see if we can't ream her out. Well, for fork's sake, you gotta put the right size drill bit in there, otherwise you're just not really doing anything. That's 101 right there. Good gravy. Amateur hour. I'll thank you all very much to pretend like you didn't see that. Away we go. Well, would you look at that? I'll say, not bad. Alright, so foreseeably this is still going to be at least a little warm. Not too bad though. Not teabag. And does it fit over? Almost. We're just going to have to do some precision grinding on this side, which is no problem. Take Grandpa's file and knock the edges off here. The small bit of the hexagon that I was not able to screw up. Now again, this is after exhausting all other options. I mean, I tried to do it the right way. but it fought me. Additionally, we were gonna have to do this anyway to clean up the rust to get the bare metal to weld. It's getting there, man. I don't want to take any more meat out of this, so we're just gonna keep working at this thing. Wow, this is turning into a whole thing. I should have packed a lunch for this. There's no room to properly file, you know, that's what's taking it so long. I have this file that's more aggressive, but it's also all hooped at the top and it's so big. All right, we're in there, and we're still gonna be able to get a wrench on there. Oh yeah, actually we can orientate it now to where we want it. So let's clean up this top edge there, and then we'll get the hot snot machine out. All right, let me get the booger welder out, and we'll start laying our bird shit down. All right, now believe it or not, the little flap inside my hoe-bar here didn't have any guidance on what my wire or heat should be for welding a brake bleeder. So I'm thinking relatively high heat, relatively low wire speed. Yeah, maybe even that low. We'll start there. And then we're just gonna send her. I don't have her hooked up on gas, so this is gonna be full-on bird shit flux core. So if you think that's sketchy, wait till you see the setup over here. So obviously we weren't getting our ground clamp on the screw nut bolt thing. So the very same dull vice grips, what ripped the guts out of her last night, are now going to be our extendo clamp. We got a welding glove over the soft line and a welding glove over these rubber parts here. I don't really think that's going to protect it, but whatever, enough talking, let's get to burning. So that immediately started melting away the bleeder valve, but that might not be a bad thing unless we're getting welding splatter down into the brake caliper. I honestly just don't know. So let's turn that down one and see how it goes on the other side. Down to 2 now. Huh. All right. Well, that definitely looks like a glob of failure and disaster. I mean, we're already down the rabbit hole. Let's continue our adventure. Oh, if it wasn't obvious, we're not trying to save this bleeder valve. This one's a write-off. We just need to get it out of the hole and put a new one in there. I might have welded my pliers to the, oh, thank goodness. All right. Well, plenty of heat got into her. I didn't melt that. I didn't melt that. The big question is, did we accomplish anything? Or was this a waste of a night in the garage? There are no wasted nights in the garage. Any opportunity you can get out of the house and be with the stuff you love is a good night. Now, one interesting development is that the 9/16 no longer fits on it. Let's try to square it up a little. Alright. Welding don't look pretty, but I mean, it's welded. There's no doubt about that. Oh, alright. We're on there. Oh, man, I can't believe that didn't break it free. Oh. I think I just broke the welds. I did. Dang. Yeah, man, it's just spinning. I'll tell you. So that's what it ended up looking like. I know it's not pretty, but it just sort of is what it is. and I'll be dipped. See that? It's just spinning, man. I mean, this is one tough. This bleeder valve is screwed. This caliper's done. It is what it is. We tried. All right. Now, I think this would have worked on a slightly less stuck caliper for sure. I'm not kidding. There was almost a 1/4 inch of corrosion built up in this little well down here. So I mean, this thing was totally K the frigoed. It's no surprise. Whatever, we tried. Let's ignore this one. Let's get one that's not a write-off and talk about the tip that blew my mind and is going to make it so that we never have to deal with this ever again. All right, we're gonna have to take a little detour here. I did record this tip last night, and then as I was laying in bed, I was realizing I set myself up for failure. I did not properly explain it, and you guys were gonna crucify me over it. So the tip is you put 1 wrap of Teflon tape around your brake bleeder valve. This will prevent it from seizing inside the body of the caliper. Now, those in the know will know that Teflon tape is the more common name for, what is it, polytetrafluoroethylene, PTFE, and those who are really in the know, who know their chemistry, will know that PTFE breaks down over long exposure to brake fluid. Many things do. Brake fluid is nasty stuff. Now, I can see what you're saying. Well, that's a problem as you're putting it in your brake system. Here's why it's not. In this application, and in most all applications, Teflon tape is a lubricant, not a sealant. All right, when you put Teflon tape around pipe threads, you're not using it to seal those pipe threads. You're using it to reduce the friction so that you can screw that pipe in even tighter. Now, in this application, you're not using it to seal the brake bleeder valve. The bottom of the bleeder valve already does that, so the exposure to brake fluid is very minimal. Even when bleeding the brakes, the brake fluid is not coming around the threads, it comes through the middle of the brake bleeder valve. So this very small amount of Teflon tape and is going to come in very little contact with brake fluid. And I submit, and many online have submitted, I did a little research, that it will be fine and you will be fine, and this is in fact a viable option. Another assertion that people have made is that it will break down and it will get into your brake system. The brake system in your vehicle is not a circulatory system. All right, you're not. They suggested, oh, you're going to get PTFE tape inside your ABS unit and inside your master cylinder. That's not how brake systems work. Brake fluid does not circulate through the whole system. All right, it moves a very small amount every time you push your brake pedal. So even if it did break down, the most that's going to happen is the most minuscule amount could maybe get into your brake caliper. I mean, like the most minuscule amount. So this is a totally viable option. Yes, I understand why chemistry raises a red flag, but there you go. I just explained why it's not. For those of you who are still going to be angry, by all means, I would like to direct you down to the squawk boxes. Tell me why I'm a hack and why this is a dangerous thing to do. I don't know. All right. Anyway, thanks for listening. Back to the show. All right. Now, obviously, another possibility would be maybe a bit of anti-seize on them. This is something that nobody thinks of. This isn't something you can wait until it's screwed up on. If you have a new vehicle or you get a vehicle, you need to pop those bleeders out and do the Teflon, do the anti-seize. I suppose you could just use normal grease, might help you a little bit. Do something to mitigate it. Anyway, that's all I got for today. Sorry we couldn't get that brake bleeder valve out, but I'm glad we tested it out anyway. I really appreciate your comments. That's what led to this video. I do read all of them. I respond to as many as I can. Lately with the Avalanche project, channel's gone. I mean, comments have quadrupled because of those videos. You guys really seem to like friggin' avalanches. And it's gotten a little cumbersome. But I'm doing my best to continue to read all your comments, to respond to them, and wherever I can to implement them, and we'll do some videos on them. All right, so leave us a comment down there in the squawk boxes. Let us know what you think of this video. Go check out some of our other videos. If you like the video, consider subscribing to the channel. Maybe check us out on Patreon, Etsy, Teespring. Eric just designed these really awesome, ugly Christmas sweaters, one for the Avalanche, one for our regular Jeep content. They're on our Teespring store. Go check them out. They're kind of cool. I think they're awesome. He put a lot of time into the design. So anyway, we'll cut it here. As always, thanks for watching. See you next time.